Daily Mirror, it was reported that the recovered money was handed over to the security units. Whereas another video shows protesters working out in the gym. Well, there are also videos of protesters preparing a feast in the lush gardens of the Prime Minister's residence. All right, let us now also listen into what some of the protesters have to say.
From April 9th, we dissented. We show our displeasure by holding black flag, saying that the system that they are continuing for 74 years is depressive of our people, depressive of people's rights, human rights, and they were oppressive towards people, and they were just clinging on to power by using military forces. That's why our sign was the black flag, showing the dissent to the government. The youths were against this system.
I think this is the first time we have been entered to the president house. We got a good opportunity. So I think the whole country is peaceful now. The corrupted will be finished. So I got a chance for with my kids come and having a lunch in here. So life, once in a life. So very happy about. So the coming who's next. So they have to take care of the country, take care of the people. So then everyone will be loved. Thank you.
Today is the royal lunch for your family.
Yes, lunch at Presidential House. So royal lunch.
What's your name?
My name is Supun from Moratua.
Yeah, I'm here because we have to explore what this is our tax money. So I'm here because we have to explore what kind of things they done for our tax money. That's actually what I'm here. I'm being part of a protest, protester. So this is the maximum. So politicians should understand the power of people, and this is the maximum of it. So hereafter, I think all the politicians. This is a great example for people's power. That's it.
Well, it may be mentioned here that thousands of protesters in Colombo stormed the private residence of Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe's home in Colombo last evening and set it ablaze. The incident came hours after Wickremesinghe said that he was resigning after party leaders in parliament demanded both he and the president Rajapaksa step down. Well, earlier protesters barged into President's official residence and his secretariat amid Sri Lanka's worst economic crisis in 7 decades. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa fled from his official residence in Colombo moments before thousands broke through police barricades and stormed into the compound. Meanwhile, Sri Lankan President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has agreed to step down from his post as thousands of protesters stormed his official residence in the capital of Colombo, forcing him to flee to an unknown location. Rajapaksa has informed that he will resign from the presidency on July 13. This was announced by Speaker Mahinda Yapa Abeyewardena in a press conference, according to Sri Lanka's news outlet Newswire. It needs to be mentioned here that 16 MPs from President Gotabaya Rajapaksa's party, Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna, have requested an immediate resignation of the president. Moreover, Sri Lankan Prime Minister Ranil Wickremesinghe resigned on Saturday, stating that his resignation will give way for the formation of an all-party government in the country. Well, the Prime Minister had also declared Sri Lanka bankrupt before his resignation. Meanwhile, protesters have made it clear that the agitation will continue till July 13, when Gotabaya Rajapaksa will be stepping down as the president. Not only this, a group of protesters will be staying back at the capital for at least 6 months.
Tell me about why the people are protesting when President has announced his resignation on 13th.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has that question because he has definitely announced his resignation, but he didn't officially resign from his position till. So we are waiting uh, to get his official confirmation. So we will be here till 13th or 14th to see uh, whether he will resign or not. We don't trust him anymore because he has already broken our trust, our country's trust, and he has already sold our country. So we are not in the position to trust him or our prime minister at the moment. So
So, do you justify the way protesters has entered in the Springfield House, in the old Parliament, and other places, and burned the houses?
we have completed 3 months yesterday. So we struggled that 3 months like hell. So I can't justify saying no, that people have gone to the president house and the temple trees and this president office. Uh, and I can say actually we haven't broke anything inside these premises, and we just entered and we have shown them that people have more power than politicians.
Meanwhile, one of the protesters said it is therefore established that people have more power than politicians.
राष्ट्रपति ने ये कहा है कि 13th को वो इस्तीफा देंगे, तो आप लोगों का प्रोटेस्ट क्या 13th को खत्म हो जाएगा?
नहीं 13 तक हम इधर रहेंगे। तो 13 वो लोग रिसाइन देने को बात कर लिया। सो 13 तक अब हम इधर रहेंगे।
और 13th को इस्तीफा अगर वो रिजाइन किया तो आप लोग वापस चले जाएंगे?
नहीं 6 महीना को एग्रीमेंट है वो गवर्नमेंट का। 6 महीना का एक ग्रुप इधर रहेंगे, अदर लोग घर जाने का। आफ्टर दैट 6 महीना 50 आदमी इधर रहेंगे।
So basically what you want?
वी वांट आवर जस्टिस, हमारा हक के लिए वो प्रोटेस्ट होंगे।
Meanwhile, External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar, while reacting to the crisis in Sri Lanka, said that India is trying to help the country, but first will have to observe the situation in the neighboring country.
On Sri Lanka, we have been very supportive of Sri Lanka, and we are trying to help, and we are always very, very helpful where they are concerned, but they are right now working through their problems, so we have to wait and see what they do. There is no refugee crisis right now. On Sri Lanka, we have been very supportive of Sri Lanka, and we are trying to help, and we are always very helpful where they are concerned. But they are right now working through their problems, so we have to wait and see what they do. There is no refugee crisis right now.
Meanwhile, a group of individuals also protested outside Gotabaya Rajapaksa's son in Los Angeles.
Sorry for the noise, but your neighbors, they stole this. This is about them leaving and returning all the money that they stole from us. And we are going to be here. Hey guys, sorry for the noise, but your neighbors, they stole from Sri Lanka. His dad was the president of Sri Lanka.
He destroyed country.
He destroyed our country, stole our money. His name is Manoj. That's your neighbor. Just so you know, when you see him, just, we are coming. We're not angry at you. But when you see him, understand, look at the news. His dad is Gotabaya Rajapaksa. The country, I don't know if you saw in the news, thousands of people stormed the presidential house and chased him away. This is his son. This house was bought from the money stolen from our country. So
Sri Lanka, SRI, LANTA, Sri Lanka. Look at the situation right now going on. Some bad situation going right
Basically,
now.
bro, people
Because of the his
don't have
dad.
food, they don't have gas.
Yeah.
Basic necessities. Doctors are performing with
Yeah.
iPhone life. Like, they don't have.
He's a luxury life here. Look at that. Luxury life. With our money.
You guys hang on though.
All right, moving on to Tripura now. Well, the Tripura BJP is already on election mode. A week after the party's national executive meeting in Hyderabad, the BJP's district executive meeting was held in Agartala today. Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha, who is also state BJP president, chaired the meet. The meeting engaged in a brainstorming session to set strategies for the 2023 assembly polls in the state. Besides setting the party's roadmap as it gears up for the coming assembly elections, discussions were held on economic and political resolutions which have been passed at the recent BJP National Executive meeting in Hyderabad.
আমাদের সাংগঠনিক 10টা ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, সেই 10টা ডিস্ট্রিক্টে আজকে একযোগে সব 10টা ডিস্ট্রিক্টেই আমাদের কার্যকারিণী বৈঠক হবে। পরবর্তী সময়ে মণ্ডল কার্যকারিণী বৈঠক হবে। সেটা আমরা প্রতি 3 মাস পর পর হয়ে থাকে, এক সপ্তাহ বাদে বাদে হয়। কেন্দ্রের পরে স্টেট, স্টেটের পরে ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, তারপর মণ্ডলে। আমাদের আগামী দিনের কর্মপদ্ধতি সেইগুলো নিয়ে আলোচনা হয়। আমাদের অর্থনৈতিক প্রতিবেদনের উপরে প্রস্তাব পাশ হয়েছে, যেটা আমাদের দিল্লিতে কেন্দ্রীয় নেতৃত্ব যেটা তেলেঙ্গানায় পাশ করেছেন সেই বিষয়ে আলোচনা হয়েছে, এখানেও আলোচনা হবে, পাশ হয়ে গেছে। এখন তো বলতে গেলে আমার এখানে বিধানসভা, সদর আরবনের অন্তর্গত বিধানসভা, তো সেই কারণে আজকে আমি এসেছি এখানে। তো এখানে এই বিষয়ে যে কথাগুলো বললাম সেই বিষয়ে আলোচনা হবে।
आज हमारी पूरी डिस्ट्रिक्ट में एक साथ एक ही टाइम ये कार्यकारिणी बैठक हो रहा है। इस बैठक का जो मूल एजेंडा है, हमारे प्रदेश में, हमारे जिला में इस बैठक से प्लानिंग होता है जे 3 महीने हम लोग क्या क्या काम कर रहा है। और इस बैठक का सबसे बड़ा महत्व ये है जो 2023 में जो विधानसभा निर्वाचन होने वाला है, उस विधानसभा निर्वाचन में हमारे कार्यकर्ता का क्या क्या भूमिका होगा, इस जिला का क्या क्या भूमिका रहेंगे, इसके बारे में चर्चा होगी। और आज प्लानिंग होगा जे 3 महीने हम क्या क्या करेंगे।
All right, in some other stories now, in a tragic turn of events, a youth died of suicide by jumping off the Saraighat bridge into the Brahmaputra today. And as per reports, although the police and spectators tried their best to save the youth, their efforts were futile. Search operations are currently underway to locate the body of the youth from the Brahmaputra. It is learned that the deceased was a resident of Barbeta. Well, he had come to the Saraighat bridge on a bicycle. However, the police is yet to ascertain the complete identity of the youth.
ইয়াতে আমি সুধিলো ক'লে কি হ'ল, সি ক'লে কি মই ইয়াতে বহি আছোঁ, বহাতে উঠি গ'ল ওপৰত। উঠানতে ওপৰত আহে পুলিচগিলা আহিল তেতিয়া আৰু সি তলত নামি গ'ল চব মানুহ ভিৰ হৈ গ'ল সুধিলে ক'ত কি কৰা সি কৈছে মই ঘৰত বৰপেটা জানো কৈছে কি এই কথা জাপে মাৰি দিলে নাম চাম কোৱা নাই এজন দাদাই ধৰিল ধৰান্তে হাতখন চিলিপ মাৰি গুচি গ'ল চুইচাইড কৰিব আহিছিল মানুহবিলাক বচাব চেষ্টা কৰিছিল যেতিয়া মানুহবিলাক ওচৰলৈ যায় তেতিয়া সি মানে নদী যাম দিম বুলি কৈ থাকে তাৰপিছত এজন মানুহে তাৰমানে ইয়াক বচাবলৈ যাওঁতে মানে কাষলৈ গৈছিল ধৰিছে ইমান কষ্ট কৰিছে কিন্তু নাই বচাবলৈ সি নিজে জাপ দি নদীত পৰি গ'ল তাৰমানে পৰি যাওঁতে আগত ধৰা পৰিছিল আৰু আগত উঠিছে কিন্তু NDRF বাহিনী আহোঁতে সি তাৰমানে থিয় দিছিলে আৰু মানুহটো মাথাটো ওলাইছে তাৰপিছত আকৌ আৰু নদীত তাৰমানে ধাৰতে আৰু তললৈ গৈছে ইয়াতে নাপালে চাগে আগত পাব চাগে
একচুৱেলি যেতিয়া আহিছোঁ আমি অহাৰ লগে লগে দেখিলোঁ যে ল'ৰাজন অপজিট চাইডে চাইকেলখন ৰখাই সি উল্টা ফালে এনেকৈ পিঠি দি পেলাই থিয় হৈছে দি কৈছে যে মই জঁপিয়াই দিম আমি কি কৰিছোঁ গোটেইবিলাকে ইয়াতে গাড়ীখন ৰখাই পেলাই আহি পেলাই তাক সুধিছোঁ যে হৈছে কি একচুৱেলি মৰিলেতো একো লাভ নাই কি হৈছে এনেকৈ বাৰ সুধি আছোঁ চব মানুহে সুধিছে তাৰপিছতো সি কৈছে নাই মই জঁপিয়াম তো অলপমান শান্ত কৰি পেলাই আমি তাক অলপ ক'লোঁ যে ইয়াতে কোনোবাই ক'লে পইচা কিবা কাম দিম কিবা দিম তোৰ যি প্ৰব্লেম আছে মই ক'লোঁ যদি কিবা আছে আমি পইচা দিম এতিয়া তই চাহ তাহ খাই ল অলপ মাথাটো ঠাণ্ডা কৰ নাই সি কয় মই বৰপেটাৰ পৰা আহিছোঁ মই মৰিম এনেকৈ তাৰপিছত পুলিচৰ মানুহ আহিল তেওঁলোকৰ লগত অলপমান সাহস কৰি আমি গোটেইকেইটা আগবাঢ়ি গৈছোঁ গোটেইকেইটা প্লেন কৰি গৈছোঁ যে তাক অলপমান বচাব লাগিব সেইটো কি কৰিছে সি যেতিয়াই পুলিচ দেখিছে আৰু বেছি এগ্ৰেছিভ হৈছে যেতিয়া সি তলত দেখিছে যে দুখন নাও আহিছে বা এখন নাও দেখিছে সি নাওখন ঘূৰি আছে তাৰ মানে মাথাটো কাম নকৰা হৈছে তো আমি অলপকৈ গৈ আছোঁ কিন্তু নাই সি মানে এনেকুৱা হৈছে যোন কাষত যাব হাতখন এৰি দিম তাৰপিছত আমি ওচৰ গৈয়ে নাপালোঁ সি হাতখন এনেকৈ মাৰিছে দি পেলাই কৈছে যে মই পৰি যাম দি পেলাই ডাইৰেক্ট পৰি গৈছে
Well, the tragic suicide case of animal rights activist Vineet Bagaria has taken a political turn, with the opposition Congress now demanding a CID investigation in the matter. Leader of opposition Debabrata Saikia has written to Assam Governor Professor Jagdish Mukhi, wherein he requested to direct the state government in initiating a CID investigation into a matter on the alleged lapse by Dibrugarh police. In his letter, Saikia said Bagaria's demise was a result of a serious lapse of timely action by the Dibrugarh police, an utter showcase of irresponsibility by the officer in charge of Dibrugarh police station. He further added that the concerned officer on duty should be held accountable for not taking prompt action even after repeated complaints by the family of the deceased. It may be mentioned here that another accused in the Vineet Bagaria suicide case has been arrested by the police. The accused has been identified as Samshullah Khan. Well, it may be mentioned that 3 persons accused of abating the suicide of Vineet Bagaria are now behind the bars. Meanwhile, people of Dibrugarh will be taking out a peaceful candlelight march today at 6 p.m. The candlelight march will begin from Vineet's residence near the Shani Mandir area to Thana Chariali. Well, time for a very short break now. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
News to keep you ahead. Evening Prime, every day at 7 p.m.
The Tupul railway yard where this massive landslide took place. There was a camp of the territorial army. There were camps of the railway. The landslide started and it came down all the way and it went down furthermore many meters down to the None River. The officials of the NDRF, SDRF and also the local people who are carrying out the search and rescue operations.
The Shillong Pamai, he's the exact person just lead the rescue operation from this side. This is the Saroi Pandongba village. This is a river side on the Saroi Pandongba side.
हम और आप कभी नहीं सोच सकते थे कि डिमा हाथों में इस तरह का न्यू हाफलोंग रेलवे स्टेशन इतना कुछ हो सकता है और इसी रेलवे स्टेशन में विस्ताडून जैसा ट्रेन यहाँ पर स्पेशल टूरिस्ट आने जाने के लिए भी यहाँ पे रिसेंटली चलाया दिया गया था.
You can see the people are trying The local people are trying to help each other.
जाएंगे हम वहां जहां की हर खबर छुप जाती है और दिखाएंगे वो जो रहता है आपकी नजरों से उझल। पहुंचेंगे हम पूर्वोत्तर के हर कोने में।
Naga political issues.
नॉर्थ ईस्ट की हर खबर से आपको कराएंगे रूबरू।
एक पूरा पहाड़ नीचे आके रास्ते में जो भी आया उसको।
Welcome back. You're watching Northeast Live, and now before moving on to some other news, let's take a look at the headlines once again. Sri Lanka turmoil takes turn for the worse. Protesters set ablaze Prime Minister's official residence, storm into President's residence. Stunning scenes witnessed in Lankan capital. Security forces intensify crackdown against Alpha Independent in eastern Assam. Fierce encounter in Tinsukia district. No report of any casualty. Clamour for removal of Sikkim Chief Secretary S.C. Gupta gets louder. Sikkim Nagarik Samaj to hold online protest from tomorrow. Tripura BJP gears up for 2023 Assembly elections. Chief Minister Manik Saha chairs key strategy meet of office bearers. And amid row over Kali poster, Prime Minister Modi says worship of God is empowering. TMC's Mahua Moitra remains defiant. And on to the big story from Sikkim now. The Sikkim Nagarik Samaj, which is running a campaign demanding removal of Chief Secretary S.C. Gupta, has decided to launch an online protest starting tomorrow. Well, this was informed by Pasang Sherpa, spokesperson Sikkim Nagarik Samaj, with the civil society group deciding to postpone a peace rally that was supposed to be held demanding Chief Secretary Gupta's removal over alleged corruption charges. It may be mentioned that the JAC had called for a peace protest rally in the state capital on 11th July, following which two notifications were issued by the state government. One was regarding COVID protocols, and the other was a prohibitory order imposing Section 144 CRPC, banning rallies and dharna in NG Marg and surrounding areas. Sherpa appealed to the public to join the online protest against the alleged undemocratic action of the government.
We had organized a peace rally tomorrow, but since government has issued two notifications, one is COVID protocol and one is 144 CRPC. So taking on those considerations, that we have postponed it for now, and we'll be observing the movement of the government, whether they are sincere towards the COVID protocol, whether they will stop all the government programs, all the political programs. If so, then we also respect that, and we'll also be as a law-abiding citizen, will continue to abide by the law. But if this is just to suppress the rally or to suppress the voice of the people, then we'll take our next step after 12th. Online protest is, we have requested the people of Sikkim from every nook and corner of Sikkim to protest online, in the online form, through social media networks, in every form, through emails, through as a petition signing or the signature campaign. So that we will be doing from tomorrow.
All right, more on this, we are being joined over phone line with our correspondent from Gangtok, Prakash Adhikari. So, Prakash, permission for rally denied by Sikkim government. Now, this issue has been lingering for long. So, what is the state government's stand on the corruption allegations, Prakash?
Yes, now state government is totally silent on this issue, but after the issued by the state government two notifications, one is the COVID-19 protocol and another is the 144 CRPC related notification implement in the state. So that today Joint Action Committee held a press conference, held a meeting, and it was decided to postpone the peace rally to the future date and instead hold an online protest from tomorrow from 11 a.m. against Chief Secretary S.P. Gupta on the various allegation of corruption against him. And it is informed by the speaking and Nagaric Samaj spokesperson chairperson earlier today. Yeah.
Right, Prakash, has the man under scanner, the chief secretary in this case, said anything on the entire issue so far?
No. Chief Secretary and State Government is totally silent on this issue, but they are imposed 144 in the state by issuing 144 related notification, but Chief Secretary and State Government is totally silent on this issue.
All right, Prakash Adhikari, thank you so much for all those details. And on to the big national story now. Amidst the Kali poster controversy, Prime Minister Narendra Modi has for the first time has reacted on Goddess Kali while addressing an event in New Delhi today. Prime Minister Modi, while making a reference to the goddess, said that her blessings are with India and that everything pervades the consciousness of the goddess Kali. Well, this has come as Prime Minister Modi's first reactions amidst the controversy stirred by poster of filmmaker Leena Manimekalai's documentary film Kali. Notably, in the poster, a woman is depicted dressed as Goddess Kali, who is seen smoking a cigarette holding a pride flag in her hand. Prime Minister Modi, while addressing the centenary celebrations of Swami Atmashtananda today, said that the saint who had a clear vision of Ma Kali had dedicated his entire life at the feet of Ma Kali. The Prime Minister further said that the consciousness of the goddess Kali is visible in the fate of Bengal and the whole of India, and when the fate is so pure, the power guides us. Meanwhile, BJP IT cell chief Amit Malviya targeted TMC MP Mahua Moitra after Prime Minister Modi's speech. Amit Malviya in his tweet said that in his speech, Prime Minister Modi describes not only Bengal but the whole of India as a center of devotion of Ma Kali. Malviya further, without mentioning Moitra's name, said that a TMC MP insulted Ma Kali and that instead of acting on them, Mamata Banerjee is defending them.
रामकृष्ण मिशन की ये जागृत परंपरा रामकृष्ण परमहंस जैसी दैवीय विभूति की साधना से प्रकट हुई है। स्वामी रामकृष्ण परमहंस एक ऐसे संत थे जिन्होंने मां काली का स्पष्ट साक्षात्कार किया था, जिन्होंने मां काली के चरणों में अपना सर्वस्व समर्पित कर दिया था। वो कहते थे, ये संपूर्ण जगत, ये चराचर, सब कुछ मां की चेतना से व्याप्त है। यही चेतना बंगाल की काली पूजा में दिखती है। यही चेतना बंगाल और पूरे भारत की आस्था में दिखती है। इसी चेतना और शक्ति के एक पुंज को स्वामी विवेकानंद जैसे युग पुरुषों के रूप में स्वामी रामकृष्ण परमहंस ने प्रदीप्त किया था। स्वामी विवेकानंद को मां काली की जो अनुभूति हुई, उनके जो आध्यात्मिक दर्शन हुए, उसने उनके भीतर असाधारण ऊर्जा और सामर्थ्य का संचार किया था। स्वामी विवेकानंद जैसा ओजस्वी व्यक्तित्व, इतना विराट चरित्र, लेकिन जगन्माता काली की स्मृति में, उनकी भक्ति में वो छोटे बच्चे की तरह विह्वल हो जाते थे। भक्ति की ऐसी ही निश्चलता और शक्ति साधना का ऐसा ही सामर्थ्य मैं हमेशा पूज्य स्वामी आत्मस्थानंद जी के भीतर भी देखता था और उनकी बातों में भी मां काली की चर्चा होती रहती थी। और मुझे याद है, जब भी बेलूर मठ जाना हो, गंगा के तट पर बैठे हो और दूर मां काली का मंदिर दिखाई देता हो, तो स्वाभाविक एक लगाव बन जाता था। जब आस्था इतनी पवित्र होती है, तो शक्ति साक्षात हमारा पथ प्रदर्शन करती है। इसलिए मां काली का वो असीम आशीर्वाद हमेशा भारत के साथ है। भारत इसी आध्यात्मिक ऊर्जा को लेकर आज विश्व कल्याण की भावना से आगे बढ़ रहा है।
Meanwhile, TMC MP Mahua Moitra has responded to the attacks by BJP after BJP's Amit Malviya took a dig at TMC MP Mahua Moitra. While targeting Malviya's comments, Moitra took to Twitter and said that Malviya should, and I quote, tell his masters to stop commenting on things they have no clue about. She even went on to comment rhetorically and stated, and I quote, Ma Oma will get them a foot on their chest. All right, back to region. A fierce encounter broke out between the Assam police and Alpha independent cadres last night at Pengeri in Tinsukia. And as per inputs that we're getting in, the gun battle lasted for almost 30 minutes. The operation was launched by a team of Tinsukia police headed by DIG Jitmal Dole. It is further suspected that the Alpha independent group was led by Rupam Ahom, a most wanted cadre of the outfit. Additional security forces have reportedly rushed to the spot and the entire area has now been cordoned off. No casualties have been reported so far. Meanwhile, the incident has stirred sensation in the entire area. All right, viewers. So a fierce encounter broke out between the Assam police and Alpha independent cadres last night at Pengeri in Tinsukia. And meanwhile, as per inputs, the gun battle lasted for almost 30 minutes. Well, the operation was launched by a team of Tinsukia police headed by DIG Jitmal Dole. It is further suspected that the Alpha independent group was led by Rupam Ahom, a most wanted cadre of the outfit. Additional security forces have reportedly rushed to the spot and the entire area has now been cordoned off. No casualties have been reported so far. Meanwhile, the incident has stirred sensation in the entire area.
যেতিয়া মই ঘৰৰ পৰা ওলাই আহিছিলো তেতিয়াতো মানে এফালে আহিছিলে অহাটো এতিয়া ঘটনাটো ক'ত হৈছে একচুৱেলি ধৰিব পৰা নাই পিছত মানে 8:30-9টা বজাত মানে তেতিয়া জুই পৰি গৈছে মানে বাহিৰৰ ফালে
জুই পৰিছিলে
হয় জুই পৰিছে মানে তেতিয়া আমি মানে ল মাৰি মানে ভিতৰত সোমাইছোগে মানে
আমিতো গমেই নাপালো যে ইমান পটককে কিবা এটা হৈ গ'ল ভয় ভাব লাগিবলৈ বা কিবা এটা হ'ল আমি কোনো গমেই নাপালো নেই কোনোবা ইয়াত হাতী জাতি ওলাই থাকে হাতী খেদাইছে নেকি বোলা নিচিনা একো থাকিলে মানে মানুহ
Moving on now. Well, COVID cases continue to rise in Sikkim with the positivity rate shooting up to 18% in the Himalayan state. With 29 fresh cases reported in the last 24 hours, the number of active cases currently stands at 162. Sikkim has made wearing of mask mandatory once again in the wake of the rise in number of cases. Viewers, COVID cases continue to rise in Sikkim with the positivity rate shooting up to 18% in the Himalayan state. And meanwhile, with 29 fresh cases reported in the last 24 hours, the number of active cases currently stands at 162. Sikkim has made wearing of mask mandatory once again in the wake of the rise in number of cases. All right, staying with Sikkim, the representatives of the Sikkim Progressive Youth Forum has released a video statement announcing plans to hold a peace rally on July 17th to press for speedy implementation of rise in minimum daily wages for laborers. As per inputs, the rally will start from Rangpo and culminate at Gangtok. Laborers and workers of pharmaceutical companies, private industries, and health workers are expected to participate in the rally. This comes after Sikkim Progressive Youth Forum issued a 10-day ultimatum to the state government on June 30th regarding the delay in notification on enhancement of minimum daily wages. It may be mentioned here that Sikkim Chief Minister Prem Singh Tamang on Labour Day on May 1st had announced that the minimum wage would be increased to Rs 15,000 per month, which will be passed by the Assembly first. However, Secretary of Labour Department said that this was not necessary and a notification would be out by July 5th. The SPYF representatives in the video statement said that the double talk by the government is just to cause distraction from the issue, and since there has been no positive response from the government yet, they will hold the rally demanding justice for the workers.
We are from Sikkim Progressive Youth Forum. We have released a video on 30th of June to give ultimatum to the government to release a notification on the minimum wage of labor. So the 10 days has been passed, but the government has not yet issued a notification, so that we, Sikkim Progressive Youth Forum and different labor organizations are organizing a peaceful rally on 17th of July. So we would like to request all to participate on this peaceful rally.
So lastly, we Sikkim Progressive Youth Forum and labor organization would like to request all the workers of various companies, PWD workers, hydro project workers, and petrol pumps workers, and various concerned citizens of Sikkim to participate in this peaceful rally.
All right, shifting focus now, India is celebrating Eid al-Adha with the rest of the world today. Known as the Feast of Sacrifice, the reverent observance coincides with the final rites of the annual Hajj in Saudi Arabia on Saturday. Eid al-Adha commemorates the Quranic tale of Prophet Abraham's willingness to sacrifice Ismail as an act of obedience to God. Before he could carry out the sacrifice, God provided a ram as an offering. And to mark this occasion, Muslims reenact Ibrahim's obedience with the symbolic sacrifice that is then divided into threes to be shared equally among family, friends, and the needy. Meanwhile, in India, devotees throng the Jama Masjid in the national capital for the namaz.
मैं हर साल जमा मस्जिद में ही नमाज पढ़ने के लिए आता हूँ गांधीनगर से। कि अपने हिंदुस्तान ऐसी जगह है जहाँ पे ऑल ओवर वर्ल्ड से नमाज पढ़ने के लिए ईद और बकरीद की खासकर हिंदुस्तान के अंदर आते हैं, और हम तो खुश नसीब है कि हम दिल्ली के अंदर रह रहे हैं और खासकर जमा मस्जिद के इलाके के अंदर, खासकर जमा मस्जिद के एरिया के आसपास ही रहते हैं। तो हम तो खुश नसीब समझते हैं अपने आप को कि हर साल हम जमा मस्जिद में आकर नमाज अदा कर सकते हैं।
बहुत खुशी की बात है कि मैं यहाँ जमा मस्जिद में ईद पढ़ सका हूँ। इंशाल्लाह हमको उम्मीद दिलाने की बात है कि अभी तक इस्लाम जिंदा है हिंदुस्तान में। इंशाल्लाह मुसलमान बड़े जमात में जमा होते हैं। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह कोई परेशानी नहीं होती है, ईद पढ़ने में भी कोई परेशानी नहीं होती है। अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह हमारे पास आज़ादी है कि ईद पढ़ सकते हैं। कई मुल्क है दुनिया में ईद ही नहीं पढ़ सकते हैं।
हमारे यहाँ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में हम लोगों ने तीनों डिस्ट्रिक्टों में अपने डीसीपी के जरिए एमसीडी डीसी को पहले ही लिख के दिया पॉइंट वाइज कि यहाँ ट्रक खड़े हो जाएं। ट्रक खड़े होने का मतलब है जो हमारी कुर्बानी होगी, जो बकरे का वेस्टेज होगा, वो उसमें लोग अपने आप पहुँचा दें। हमने पहले ही लोगों को जुमे के अंदर हमारे इमामों ने बताया कि घर के अंदर पानी का इंतजाम करके रखें, नाली के अंदर अगर खून बहता है तो पानी डालें, क्योंकि पड़ोस में जो भी रह रहा है कोई भी मजहब का है उसका ख्याल रखना, उसके जज्बात का ख्याल रखना हमारा फर्ज बनता है।
आज पूरे हिंदुस्तान में ईद उल अजहा का त्यौहार बड़ी धूमधाम के साथ मनाया जा रहा है। ये त्यौहार आपसी भाईचारा का त्यौहार है, मोहब्बत का त्यौहार है। एक दूसरे से मिलजुल कर ये त्यौहार हम लोग मना रहे हैं। पूरे हिंदुस्तान में शांतिपूर्ण तरीके से ये त्यौहार मनाया जा रहा है। आज के दिन ये त्यौहार हम लोग के लिए बहुत बड़ा त्यौहार है। आज के दिन कुर्बानी दी जाती है, इसीलिए ये त्यौहार हमेशा परंपरा चलते आया है और ये त्यौहार इसीलिए हम लोग मनाने का काम किया जा रहा है।
आज हम यहाँ पर ईद उल अजहा की नमाज
ईद के लिए जमा हुए हैं। हमारा एक्चुअली प्रोग्राम था वो खुले मैदान में, यहाँ गर्ल्स हायर सेकेंडरी स्कूल, जहाँ पर हमने ईद उल फितर की नमाज भी बाजमात बहुत लोगों ने अदा की, लेकिन अचानक मौसम की नासाजगी की वजह से तो हम यहाँ पर मस्जिद में वापस आए, वरना हमारा जो प्रोग्राम था वो वहीं पर तकरीबन 6:45 तक वहीं पर प्रोग्राम था। फिर इन नौजवानों ने, अल्लाह तबारक व तआला उनको भी रहम करे, उन पर रहम करे, उन्होंने बड़ी मुश्किल से ये वापस इंतज़ाम जो मस्जिद में किया, तो यहाँ पर भी काफ़ी लोगों की तादाद आ गई और नमाज़ पढ़ ली हमने इंशाअल्लाह। जो हमारे पैगंबर हज़रत रसूल रहमत सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम, वमा अरसलनाका इल्ला रहमतन लिल आलमीन, वो सरापा रहमत हर एक के लिए थी। उन्होंने कभी-कभी दुश्मन, जो भी उनका दुश्मन था, उनको भी कभी बद्दुआ नहीं की, बल्कि उनके साथ शफ़क़त के पेश आए, और अल्लाह तबारक व तआला के बारे में उन्होंने फरमाया कि जो तमाम मखलूक है अल्लाह ताला जो पैदा किए उसने, ये सब अल्लाह के अयाल हैं।
President Ramnath Kovind, Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu, Prime Minister Narendra Modi have extended their Eid greetings to the people. Taking to Twitter, President Kovind urged upon the people to resolve towards working for prosperity and the overall development of the country. Vice President Naidu, also taking to Twitter, termed the festival as an occasion to show compassion towards the needy and poor. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, while extending his greetings, wished everyone to work towards furthering the spirit of collective well-being and the prosperity of all mankind. Well, chief ministers of Northeast states also extended their Eid greetings to the people. Taking to Twitter, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma, Tripura Chief Minister Dr. Manik Saha, Arunachal Chief Minister Pema Khandu, Nagaland Chief Minister Nephew Rio, Meghalaya Chief Minister Kongrat Sangma wished the people on the auspicious occasion. Meanwhile, peace and harmony, this is what the Muslim community in Assam have prayed for as the state celebrates Eid al-Adha today. Muslims in the state have welcomed Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sharma's fervent appeal to not slaughter cattle in areas that also have a sizable population of people from other faiths. Chief Minister Sharma had said that no restrictions in sacrifices would be imposed in areas that have a majority of Muslim population, and thereby assured that there is going to be no police action on anybody, as he has faith that his appeal would be considered. Lauding Chief Minister Sharma, people from Muslim community have taken the initiative themselves to abide by the government directive. The people said they were fortunate to have Himanta Biswa Sharma as the state's chief minister, and as such would do anything to keep peace and harmony intact.
সংবাদ মাধ্যমৰ জৰিয়তে মই প্ৰথমে সমগ্ৰ অসমৰ মানে সকলো ধৰ্ম গোষ্ঠীলৈ মই ঈদ উল জুহাৰ সকলোৱে শুভেচ্ছা জনাইছোঁ। আজি আমাৰ নামাজ হৈ গ'ল, নামাজৰ পিছত আমি যিসকল ইতিমধ্যে এই পৃথিৱীৰ পৰা গৈছেগৈ তেওঁলোকৰ সদগতিৰ কাৰণে আমি জিয়াৰত কৰিলোঁ, কবৰ জিয়াৰত বুলি কোৱা হয়। তাৰ পিছে আমাৰ পূব গুৱাহাটী ঈদগাহ সমিতিৰ পৰা সকলো ৰাইজলৈ এটাই আহ্বান জনাম যে আজি অসম চৰকাৰে আমাৰ এই গোটেই বিষয়টো ঈদ উল জুহাৰ কুৰবানী সম্পৰ্কত স্পষ্ট কৰি দিছে। আগতে এটা বিশৃংখলাৰ সৃষ্টি কৰিছিল কিছু শক্তিয়ে, কিছু দুই এটা সংবাদ মাধ্যম পৰ্টেলৰ জৰিয়তেও, গতিকে সেইবিলাক অঞ্চলত দূৰত্ব কৰি কালি মাননীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী ডাঙৰীয়াই যিটো স্পষ্ট নিৰ্দেশনা দিলে, তাৰ ভিতৰত আমি সকলোৱে আমাৰ শংকা দূৰ হৈছে।
আমি অসমীয়া হিচাপে গৰ্বিত, আমাৰ সন্মানীয় মুখ্যমন্ত্ৰী হিমন্ত বিশ্ব শৰ্মা ছাৰ ডাঙৰীয়াক আমি ঈদৰ শুভেচ্ছা জ্ঞাপন কৰিলোঁ, আৰু আমি ঈদৰ নমাজটো আৰু কুৰবানীটো বিশেষকৈ আমি ধুনীয়াকৈ যিটো এটা মাজত এটা হাৱা উঠিছে কুৰবানী হ'ব না নাই, কিন্তু আমি ইণ্ডিয়াৰ ভিতৰত অসমীয়া সন্তান হিচাপে আমি সৌভাগ্য যে আমি এটা ভাল দক্ষতা আমি চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰ পাইছোঁ। কিন্তু আমাৰ যোৱাকালি চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰে যিটো আমাৰ ব্যাখ্যা দিছে যে আমাৰ ইছলাম ধৰ্মী ভাইসকলে বেলেগ ধৰ্মক মানে সন্মান কৰি যিটো মানে আখ্যা যে পুলিচ এইবিলাক মানে উৰা বাতৰি, আমি এই চিফ মিনিষ্টাৰৰ যিটো কথা, এই বিখ্যাত আৰু যেটা তাৰ তেখেতৰ যিটো কথা, এইটো সন্মান ৰাখি আমি একদম মানে ইছলামিক যিটো কৰিব লাগে এইটো মানে শান্তভাৱে কৰিম।
Today we have performed our Eid al-Juha Namaz on behalf of Dibrugarh Idgah Committee. Our Peace Imam of Pathanpatti Masjid, Maulana Farman Hussain Dangoria, have performed the namaz on behalf of the entire Dibrugarh people, and we have performed it with a peace and harmony as per the norms and regulations stipulated in the district administration order. And at the same time, I thanked Honorable Chief Minister who have clarified all the misconception about Assam Cattle Preservation Act, and it was at the right time he came at Dibrugarh and declared that the Qurbani will be held as per Assam Cattle Preservation Act. I thanked Honorable Chief Minister and the District Administration for helping us and clearing the matter for the general public.
Meanwhile, Eid is also being celebrated in Sipajar of Assam's Torong district. Meanwhile, in a gesture of bonhomie, BSF troops at the Atari Wagah border exchanged sweets with Pakistan Rangers, marking the occasion of Eid al-Adha. And Eid al-Adha is being observed in Tripura too. These visuals on your screens are from the Gedu Mia Masjid in Agartala, where hundreds gathered to offer their Eid prayers.
वो अपने कुर्बानी को अदा करने हुजूर सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम ने हजरत फातिमा रज़ियल्लाहु ताला अन्हा को फरमाया, ए फातिमा तुम अब अपने जानवर के पास जाओ। कभी-कभी तो ऐसा होता है कि आप किसी
ईद उल अजहा का दिन है। ईद उल अजहा का दूसरा नाम कुर्बानी ईद है। तो इस दिन हम अल्लाह रब्बुल आलमीन के राजी खुशी करने के लिए अल्लाह रब्बुल आलमीन के नाम पर कुर्बानी करते हैं और हम आज के दिन तमाम देशवासियों को और राज्यवासियों को ईद के शुभेच्छा और ईद के मुबारकबाद देता हूँ। ईद मुबारक। और मैं अल्लाह रब्बुल आलमीन से दुआ करता हूँ कि अल्लाह रब्बुल आलमीन राज्य के और देश के तमाम घर घर में ईद की खुशियाँ पहुँचा दे और सब एक साथ मिलकर ईद की खुशी मनाए।
बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है। मैं एक्चुअली मैं आसाम से आया हूँ, यहाँ पर त्रिपुरा में काम करता हूँ और यहाँ पर ईद मनाने का बहुत अच्छा लग रहा है मनाने के।
अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह ईद तो अच्छी जा रही है और मैसेज सबको ईद मुबारक, सब खुशी से रहे, सब भाईचारे से रहे।
Even as the country is celebrating Eid, things are still quite grim for the flood-affected people in Assam's Dorong district. For instance, take a look at Horuthekebari and Mulapara in Mongoldoi, where people are least excited for the losses they have faced for the past few days has been of great measure. The people in these two villages observed Eid mainly by offering namaz. It may be mentioned here that both Horuthekebari and Mulapara villages have been devastated by the recent floods.
আমাৰ আজি ঈদ এই ঈদটোৰ পঢ়ি পেলাই আহি তেনে ঘৰত ঘূমি আছে, একো যোগাৰ পাতিব পৰা নাই আৰু আমাৰ ইয়াতে পানী একবুক হৈছিল। গতিকে কিবা কৰি ভেলেদি চলি এনেকৈ আছিলোঁ আৰু এই শিবিৰ তাতে চাহ এখনত চৰকাৰে কিবা অলপ টিভি চিভি দিছিল, ৰিলিফ খাইছিলোঁ আৰু এতিয়া নচখিনি পঢ়ি আহি ঘৰত ঘূমি আছোঁ, একো যোগাৰ আনিবও পৰা নাই, কৰিবও পৰা নাই, পইচা পাতিও নাই, তেনেকৈ আছোঁ আৰু।
And similar is the situation at Kanpur in Nagaon district. Most people are still living in relief camps as the homestay once used to live is in complete shambles.
আমাৰ যিটো আমাৰ বছৰ এইটো আমাৰ ডাঙৰ বিহু বুলি কয়, কিন্তু আমি পানী সেইকাৰণে আমি ঘৰলৈ যাব পৰা নাই। সেইকাৰণে আমি দুখৰ বিষয়ে সেইকাৰণে ৰাস্তাত আমি চিৰি বনাই আছোঁ। কিন্তু সেই পানীৰ তলতে আছে আপোনালোকে চাওক ঘৰত সামান্য বহুত আমাৰ দুখ লাগিছে। ঈদ পালন কৰিব পৰা নাই, ৰাস্তাতে কেনেকৈ ঈদ পালন কৰিম কওক।
আমি আজি আমাৰ এটা ঈদৰ দিনা আজি আমি ঘৰত যাব পৰা নাই। আমাৰ ল'ৰা ছোৱালী লৈ আমি ৰাস্তাত ঈদ কৰিবলগীয়া হ'ল। আমি আজি শিবিৰত থাকিবলগীয়া হ'ল। আমাৰ ঘৰৰ পৰা এতিয়াও পানী যোৱাই নাই। ঘৰ দুৱাৰ চব ভাঙি চিঙি গ'লগৈ। আমি এতিয়া কিমান এটা হেঁপাহৰ দিন আজি আমি যাব পৰা নাই, কেনেকুৱা লাগিছে।
And now to the big international story now. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has sacked the country's envoys to India, Germany, and 3 other nations. In a move that has raised speculations, President announced the sacking of Ukraine's ambassadors to India, Germany, Czech Republic, Norway, and Hungary. This was announced in the Ukrainian presidential website on Saturday. However, there was no official statement from the presidency as to why the ambassadors were sacked. Also, it was not immediately clear if the envoys would be handed new jobs. It may be highlighted here that Zelensky had earlier urged his diplomats to drum up international support and military aid for Ukraine as it tries to fend off Russia's war that has been on for more than 3 months now. So he was Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky has sacked the country's envoys to India, Germany, and 3 other nations. In a move that has raised speculations, President announced the sacking of Ukraine's ambassadors to India, Germany, Czech Republic, Norway, and Hungary. Well, this was announced in the Ukrainian presidential website on Saturday. However, there was no official statement from the presidency as to why the ambassadors were sacked. Also, it was not immediately clear if the envoys would be handed new jobs. And meanwhile, it may be highlighted here that Zelensky had earlier urged his diplomats to drum up international support and military aid for Ukraine as it tries to fend off Russia's war that has been on for more than 3 months now. Well, news and updates continue on Northeast Live, so stay tuned for more news. Thanks for watching.
The tuple